What's up, guys? This is JTQ9 of Ssx-1, and welcome back to the channel. Season 46, War number 5. And I'm not gonna lie, this recording took me a little bit of time to get to because this was arguably my worst war ever, I want to say. If not up there, in terms of how everything happened. I was really excited coming into this fight. Really stoked about the 7 kind of fights I had. I had my first opportunity at a boss. And things don't go according to plan. So, in this first fight, let's start with Chavez. The idea with Kate here is that even though it's a knockdown, kind of ebb and flow knockdown, the cold snap is passive, so it ends up sticking. So the idea was I just needed to get a second one on. And that was probably my biggest mistake right there that just happened, is that knowing now is that once, if she's going to throw heavy, make sure that you get her in the orange, because if you don't get her in the orange, see, I made a big mistake and I pushed her to the SP2 there, and then with Mystic Dispersion. So because she wasn't in the orange, her unblockable SP2 happens, and I died just like that. So the idea, oh man, I've taken this fight a bunch of times too, and I've had no issues with it. And yet here, she was playing super passive, and I died. So I was like, oh great, this is good. I still have 6 more fights after this, and arguably harder fights after this. And I have to deal with this. So, yeah, so that was death number 1. The idea is that, you know, by hitting into her block, it does pause the effect. But I take some shots, and again, I'm starting to get myself backed into a corner. So she finally throws the SP1, but here I happen to push her again to the SP2, and had she thrown, oh my gosh, can't even look. So I got really lucky there that she was not unblockable, otherwise I would have died again. So I've already, this war for me is an absolute item burner, an absolute potion. I think I used 600 units or so. Anyways, you see me take this one recently, so we're hopefully going to build some confidence, right? You know, we have some Nick Fury action with Penny, taken him a million times with this champ. Trying to get it so he doesn't throw his SP1 when he's unblockable. And yeah, no, with this fight here, from memory, everything here went according to plan, thankfully. So I just need him to throw the SP2, and then push him past the unblockable stage. I don't know why. Anyway, either way, I got the SP2 off, which is good. Pushes him past the past his SP2 with the 12 incinerates on. I just let it kind of do the damage. I back off and end the fight with 100%. So here, at this point, I was feeling good. I was like, okay, I got through Chavez. The confidence is back up. Let's go to our next fight here. So now, Absman. This Absman is like such a pain for me for whatever reason. I feel like in the last 2 seasons, I've died to this guy probably more than any other champ in the game. So it starts off right there by me missing the perfect cold snap. And I never got comfortable in this because I was trying to bait and he kept just throwing specials and regenerating, and I was taking bad hits, and looking back in hindsight, I had the option of taking this fight with Penny or with Kate, and I thought that once I got the cold snap up, like there, for example, like that I think I went for a heavy and was just a little bit too late. And then he comes in and just absolutely wrecks me in no time. Alright, so that's death number 2 now in 3 fights. And I still have 7 fights to go. Or 7, I still have 7 total fights that I need to get through. So we're not looking good right now. And I don't know if I show the items in here, but now I'm getting really low on items because I had to heal up Kate. She got down, and then had to heal her back up again. Now she's halfway down, so I would have had to heal up, and I think I was down to like 6 or 7 units at the items at this point. And I elected to go in with Penny because I knew with Penny I had only 1 fight after this, So I was hoping that I could get through him relatively easy. And the other good news with him is that, with Penny, is that she also has the heal block. So every time he was passing, you know, the first bar or second bar of power, I was able to inflict the heal block, so he wasn't regenerating nearly as much, which was pretty good. So the idea here is that I'm waiting to have my SP2, but I need him to throw a special because I can't throw it when he's Incinerate immune. I have to try to deactivate it and go. So fortunately I was able to get down, and just like that, the amount of damage that Penny does, especially when she has like 12, 13, 14 charges up, was great. So I could breathe a little bit after that, and now we're going into another fight that I wasn't sure how was going to happen, but I've got my R3 Shuri, and the idea is that with this Quicksilver is that even though he would be unblockable at times throwing his specials, that I would be able, like if he had, I think it was 3... No, anytime he regenerates, he goes... No, I don't remember. Anyway, on the specials... anytime he regenerates, he gains the unblockable. But with Shuri, as she blocks the unblockable specials, I knew, and she's very tanky, especially at this level, I just had to kind of move out of the way, throw my SP1s, refresh the shocks, get the crit shocks up, and then he goes down really quick. So again, with that fight, I was very happy with the way that went. I'm now 4 fights in, 2 deaths, and thinking, okay, you know what? We can still salvage this, let's go. On to another tactic fight with Apocalypse. So this one here, I was taking with Penny. My initial idea was to build up 2 SP1s before pushing the SP2, because he will become Incinerate immune at a certain point. So it was to really kind of build up my charges. And I believe I had, at the time, I had gotten an intercept in to be able, because Penny is tactic as well, that I would be able to block kind of his SP2s. So I pushed him to this point, I'm like, okay, fine, I have the ability to block it now because I got my intercept earlier. Charges are falling off, and then rooted, I dex first 2, okay, great. Take a monster SP2. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to push him again to the SP2, throw my SP2 to try to maximize the damage, but with 2 chances. And this was arguably the best dex of my life. I fully dexed his SP2 with, while rooted. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, let's see if the SP1 can kill him. It does not. And then I take his SP1 to the face, unblockable. And now I have just died for the 3rd time. So I know in the videos here it shows that they're kind of moving pretty quickly through and heading right back in and onto the next fight. So in this one I was like, I can't heal up. I don't have it. He had not much power left, so I decided to use Shuri just to finish it off. But there is time that does pass in between these fights where I do take a breather, I do step back and think, okay, here we go, like we need to be okay. So this fight here, last time I took, as you remember, I took with Nimrod, and I died. So the officers seemed to like the way I took the fight, and this time elected to go with Shuri, as she can just block those unblockable SP1s, SP2s in there, and have that go. So in this case here, I wasn't taking any chances. I wasn't dexing the first hit just in case. I was trying to dex the second one because, as you saw, the damage put through the block on my R3 was still like 15%, and I just didn't want to, I wanted to be safe. So again, like there, another 10-15% damage. Just have to be careful when the lucky's up not to finish your combos and kind of go through. So as you can see, I'm playing the fight relatively clean. I'm doing my light, medium combo, or my medium, light, medium, to make sure that I don't get it kind of back to back. And that one I decided with that 5% left to just block, knowing that that SP2 can be nasty when the lucky is up. So heading into my final fight, my first attempt at boss in a while, did a bunch of duels, was very, very comfortable. I knew that I just had to hold block when it came to baiting out the SP1. I did not want to push the SP2. And then, for whatever reason, not here. I got some specials off. I was starting to build up some nice kind of damage. The next ones would be the crit. As you can see, some great damage there. And so I'm going to bait the SP1. And then eat all kinds of damage from that SP1 and dead. So, man, this is so painful to watch. So painful to watch, but I show you guys the good ones. When I go deathless in seasons, I had, what, 2 out of my last 3 seasons were deathless. I had a good one, and this one here, 4 deaths to me. A couple other guys had some rough ones. This was a tough one. We lost 17. We put up 17. Me putting up 4 of them, which potentially cost us. And now on the season, I'm up to 26 and 8, which is absolutely horrible. Oh, absolutely horrible. So, as you can imagine, I was extremely embarrassed. I had my head between my tail, talking with the officers and how to avoid situations like this again, even though I did take some time in between fights and thought I was fine. I didn't die to necessarily the same champ every time. I did not do the cleanup on the boss. I was too rattled, and I didn't have the items left. I was all itemed out. So, anyways, take the good with the bad with the good, and we move on to the next one. There's still a long season left, and thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.